This is why I invited you along, John, so you can do all the work. That's impressive, man. That's really impressive. Look at that. Good grief.
I've never seen so much come off one vehicle.
John, look at that. So how many rounds of fallout removal was that?
Kind of 2.5 before we run out of fallout remover. I like this little setup here. You've got a similar thing going to me.
What's that?
Like it's just simple.
Simple, mate. That's me, simple. So phase 2, it's been, when did we do this? On Friday?
Yes.
Done the corrosol, and now we're going to do the hydrate. So it's all dry, tailed it all off. We're in the barn on the 2-poster lift, so we're going to get it up in the air, have a look underneath, see how bad it is, and get a bit of
hydrate on it.
Probably get the product in view.
Yeah, so we're doing rust conversion this time, haven't we? So we've dissolved a lot of the rust off the surface. Now, this is new to me and Rick. We're just debating whether we should just give it a light sand.
Let's have a look.
And then hydrate Acty it. We're not too worried about a flawless finish because there's bits of paint missing and stuff like that, but we're worried about what's best for the corrosion. So I think we're thinking if we do a little bit of light key and then paint this all over, that'll give us the best starting point so that the corrosion's not going to be a problem later on.
I can't believe how much better it looks already.
It's a lot better, isn't it? But
there's some treatment that needs to happen over here.
Yeah, because if we just painted on top of this, we're still painting on top of bits of surface rust. So that can't be good. We're never going to get it all off, but we're going to get it to a stage where it's better, you know. So, yeah.
Let's go find some sandpaper.
Yeah.
Right. Got a bit of P80. Let's give it a try.
So we're going in with some grip paper to take this sand, this rust out. Yeah, it does work, you see straight away.
It is coming up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be a bit labour. Oh, it's going to key it a bit as well.
See, this is why I invite John along. He's not only the model, he's not only the looks and the brains, he's also the brawn as well.
Go on, mate, steady on.
Mate, you're going to be there for days if you go down that.
Well, yeah, we don't want to go too much, but we'll give it a key.
Yeah, literally, I'll just get the worst of it off, and we'll wipe it off in a minute.
So I'll just work down each channel.
Yeah, I think that's it.
One at a time.
I'll stick the worst of it off.
Stick that there.
I'll literally just key it up, mate. I literally just go down it like that. Do you want to go up with the old workbench?
Go up a little bit.
You've been trained on the 2-poster now.
Yeah. You right? You clear?
Yeah, the top one, all clear. We're just thinking of our old backs.
That's probably about right.
Trying to save our backs. Oh yeah, that's better. See what I try and do is I keep changing camera positions, then John's got to do all the work.
I feel my fingers warming up.
Mate, I'm getting a bit of warmth on, you know. Like you say, that give it a better finish as well. I was like, right, what can we use to like wipe this down? I was like, I know. The MX5 footwell towel.
Yes, that's some action.
So that's now got MX5 rust on it and Honda Acty rust on it. It's like multi-purpose Japanese rust. It's still got an eBay at the end. Someone might be interested.
The towel.
Try and make money where I can.
Time mark. Oh, it's a bit of patina there.
A bit of patina right. Towel.
So I reckon we're ready to go on with this stuff then.
I reckon you're right. Mate, your side looks a lot better than my side.
Well, I think they're both pretty good. It's just the light key, isn't it? And a bit of rust removal. So we've still got rust in there, but that's why we're using this. So this stuff kind of reacts and it hardens off and you can prime over the top of it. So what the unknown for me is, because this is kind of resinous once it goes, you see that? It's going to leave a film on there, but I'm assuming it just levels down, and so when you primer it, you look like you've got a good finish to paint onto. But the prep that we've done isn't that involved where we're going to be too worried about any texture in the surface.
You haven't got like machine sand or anything.
No, you could. I mean, you could. It just depends what you want, doesn't it? So
yeah, for sure.
The paint you're going to be putting on is going to protect it. So let's give this a shake. I think always decant this if you can, because if you get the rust in there, it's going to spend the product. So, blimey, that's so tight. Is that a safety thing? Well, first problem, getting the lid off.
Yeah, go on, push it down. Go on. Come on, John. You've used all your stamina up on sanding the bed, mate.
I can't get the lid off. I failed at the first hurdle.
What's he like? Come on, watch this. Ready?
Super strength.
Oh, you're right, mate.
He's done it.
Come on.
There we go.
Come on, mate.
Right,
it's dinner. See, that's what when my dad offered him bacon and eggs earlier, I should have eaten it.
I'm going to diet.
Oh, it's like a blue sort of colour.
Yeah, yeah. We'll just do a little demo bit on here for the camera, because there's a nice bit of rust there, so we're just going to paint that on.
Oh, it's like milky. Oh, a little goes a long way, doesn't it? I was worried that we didn't have enough in this tiny little bottle to do the whole bit.
What's that? How much you get? 500 mil, actually.
500 mil.
I reckon we'll use.
Oh, it goes miles. And I'll tell you what as well. Now we've sanded that. I think it will go even further because it's made it kind of slippery, hasn't it? You feel that now. It was like all rough and coarse. The Corrosol, the anti-rust stuff, did make it definitely softer. Now we've sanded it. Also, does that maybe loosen up the rust a little bit, doing that Corrosol stuff?
Well, it turns it, so it reacts with the rust and turns it into a soluble oxide that dissolves in water, and that's all that purple stuff. So anything that's purple is rust, basically. Well, it's not. It's a different oxide that's come from the rust. So that's why we did it, because it's just low horsepower. You know, we didn't have to break sweat to get all of that rust off.
No, we've broken the sweat now, though.
Yeah, this is a bit more involved, isn't it?
Well, no, I mean, not with the paintbrush.
So I can feel this kind of drying already. So, yeah, I just want to keep going with it.
I can't believe you've done that already, just with that. Like, well, that was pretty much one brush full of stuff.
Yeah. So, don't want too much on there. So I don't want any, because that's going to set harder, isn't it?
I don't know whether it's just me or if that's going like darker already. It's like it's going a purpley sort of colour.
Yeah, it does darken off a bit.
Because like where it's on the white, that's obviously not reacting.
It doesn't go as blue as some of them, there's a blueness to it. So this must be like a different chemical reaction. I'd love to know what this chemical reaction that's happening with this, if anyone knows. Someone will know. Someone will know.
So why don't you know, John? You're the expert.
Well, I just don't know anything about. I'm not very good with all this derusting stuff. But like now, I've got an old car and the E36. It's probably the thing that I need to kind of get into a bit.
John was eyeing up my two-pace to the left. He's going, "Oh, can I bring my Porsche and get that up in the air?" It's like, "Of course you can, mate."
Yeah, I know. I'll be.
Let's start taking bookings.
Yeah,
I think Danny wants to get his up in the air on this as well.
I said to you, don't show Danny this lifter, because Danny will pitch a tent up outside. He'll be there in the morning. All right, Rick, I've just bought 15 vehicles round. Can we stick them all up on the lifter?
Yeah. Yeah, have you got any spare Bilt Hamber stuff?
It's so handy though, isn't it? Because all the stuff you do on cars, you know, if you can get them up in the air, you're laughing. You can do a lot of this stuff.
Well, this is the ramp that broke my MX-5.
Is it?
Yeah, I literally had it for 2 months. I thought we were going into the winter, and I know MX-5s can get rusty underneath. Yeah. So I went to go and lift it up on this ramp, and the button's over that side, but this corner, it was the furthest corner away from me, and as I started lifting it up, this corner of my MX-5 stayed on the ground, and there was like a crunching sound, and the foot just went straight up into the chassis.
You discovered the rust.
Yeah, and as I would put the lift back down again, the corner of my car stayed on the leg of the ramp. I was like, that's not good.
Rick's quite handy with what he calls a sparky glue gun.
Sparkly glue gun.
That. I was thinking, what the fuck? Oh, he needs a welder. I'll use that. Sparky glue gun. You stick metal things back together with it. So one thing I don't know is how long you got to leave this before you prime.
Yeah, I mean it won't be today. Basically, the plan for today was literally just like key this up. And then paint it on, or watch you paint it on.
How long though? What, 24 hours?
Yeah, at least 24 hours. And then I think when we come back to it, it'll be really dark or maybe black. But if that is the thing, I might take these rear lights out actually, because that bit round there is a bit scabby.
There's more rust on the top of these. This might be a case of more is more. We always say less is more. It might be a case of more is more.
More is more.
The rare case.
Doing a good job, John.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So I suppose we're working on this kind of surface rust here. Underneath the car, when you see a spot of rust, you kind of you're more inclined, because you haven't got to worry about the rest of the paintwork. If you've got a little spot of rust underneath, you tend to just buzz it off with like a drill bit and a de-rusting tool first.
Yeah.
Try and get back to good steel, don't you? And then like do the same thing. You could treat it with this after you've abraded it off, and then etch primer it, and then underseal it, or use a sealant paint.
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't want to. I'll say we don't want to use too much. Even with that little bit you've poured in that tub, we're nowhere near getting through that.
No,
you've done nearly half a bed.
Yeah, I think probably maybe 150 mil to do this.
So a little goes a long way. That's what I tell her.
Less is more.
Mate, it looks better already, even just if it stayed like that.
Yeah, well, it's darkening off, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder how much this can convert, because you've got like, it can only ever act on the bit that it's kind of working on, so does it absorb into it?
I've got new lenses to go in here anyway. That's something else I did another separate video on, because the like rear lenses for over here, I think they were like 50 quid, 45 quid per lens per side, and I got.
Where'd you get all the bits from this?
Well, I got these from Japan. So the
parts.
Yeah.
So you ordered them from Japan?
I've ordered all the parts for this came from Japan. Cam belt, water pump, the lights, not the oil obviously, all the filters, everything. But the rear lights, they were £45 per lens per side, and I got a pair from Japan for 18 quid.
18 quid?
18 quid. Bargain.
So they are cheap then to sort of do bits and pieces on, you just got to order it all across.
Just as well I've got new lenses, I just fall out.
So how did you go about ordering from Japan then?
Well, what happened was...
Speaks fluent Japanese.
Yeah, exactly. Need to put them somewhere where I'm not going to lose them. Put them on the dash. Well, I did a bit of research before I bought the bits, because you can get most bits over here, but you can't. What I found when the truck turned up is I couldn't get all the bits that I needed over here. So I thought, well, if I've got to order a load of bits from Japan, I may as well just get it all from Japan. And sorry, say the question again. I lost my mojo already.
I forgot what the question was about.
I'm trying to think about what I'm doing. I'm trying to think about what's going on my video. I'm trying to think about what's going on your video.
What swims faster, or what should I have done? My mind's gone. Yeah, so Rick's just finishing off the last section of the top hood. I think I might need a little bit there, but I've definitely done that. I can see something. I can see the film on top of it.
Yeah, when it dries, it looks like there's bits that you've missed, but actually...
there is a good film of this product over the top now. Yeah, and of course, I'm thinking, I said to you earlier on, well, what about you could paint this stuff on and then key it, but really you're just removing material.
Yeah, you're just taking it off, yeah.
That's providing the barrier, aren't you? So I suppose you put this down, you do your prep first, you put this down, you primer, you paint. Yeah,
and to be honest, I'm just going to do a close-up. There's a couple of bits here that I've just seen where I'm trying to get paint all over my camera. This is like kind of ripply here, and actually then when you put the product on, it sits in it kind of fills it up like a little mini swimming pool.
Yeah, it's going to level it a bit.
Yeah, there's like a bit here, look, and that's all like high, and actually when you put the product over, it kind of levels it off. So if as long as that stays fairly structural and hardens like it seems to have done on the rest of the bed, I actually think it's going to give like the better.
So more is more.
Yeah, more is more. Well, to a point.
It's got a high build primer. You get a bit of filling going on. You get a flatter finish.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, we're nearly done. And then it's going to be a cup of tea time, and then have a look underneath. Because like you say, I think underneath is going to be more like spot, whereas actually we've painted this entire bed with this stuff. Final bit.
Looks like it goes black long term.
Yeah, because you see the bit that I've just done here, and that's all still blue. And then the bit you did over here about 20 minutes, half hour ago.
I don't know if there's any benefit. I suppose there's probably less benefit to multiple coats because you've sealed it. But I just want to make sure.
Double check.
I've got it all.
Well, we've got enough product, haven't we?
Yeah. I've got it. That's all.
Tell you what, mate, that's looking pretty good. That's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Right, let's go and have a look at. Mate, look at the state of me.
Do we need to do the sides?
Because I knew I was working with John today, I haven't had a shave or cut my hair. I've tried to harness a bit of John's energy.
I haven't got any hair left to cut.
Right, so we're going to have a cup of tea and get underneath. Right, a cup of tea done. What's the bed looking like? See, this side is still like a little bit wet.
Yeah.
But this side is. I thought this earlier was like rust, but I actually think that I thought it was rust that hadn't cured, but actually it's like a little bit of paint. Right, wind her up then, ramp boy. Let's see what she's looking like underneath. a bit of paint on the old ramp, look. And then press the one that's got the line on it.
That's the one below it, yeah. And drop it down.
Yeah, keep going until it stops. There you go, and then it sits there, and that's now safe to get underneath. Oh, do you know what? Most of it's engine. Oh, some little bits up there. Yeah, this is more like spots of stuff.
Oh, jeez.
This might have to be a wheel-off job.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, actually.
I'll be honest, that more looks like underseal that's come off.
I think it's...
You know what? That's underseal.
Is it?
Yeah, let's try and get that lid out of the way. Oh yeah, now we can see what we're doing. That's going to drop on someone's head. I'll be honest, mate, I think that's underseal. Yeah, that's underseal. Oh, there's some paint's come off. Yeah, because this is black, look, that's black with underseal. Get it
as clean as you can, paint the converter over it, and then zinc primer it. Paint that primer on, and then paint it. Yeah, I suppose the underside's always going to be a bit more crusty.
Yeah, of course it is, yeah, because it's going to have the... Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Yeah, right, eh?
Clean, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all clean. I literally service this all up.
Most of the truck bed's better, actually. You do with treating these little spot weld bolts here. Yeah, just get it all treated. But it's all surface rust.
Yeah, it's all surface stuff.
For a 35-year-old vehicle, it's really good.
Yeah, I think so.
All the brake lines are good.
Yeah, it's good. For a working truck, I think it's really good.
Oh yeah, a bit of corrosion there. So it's the arches really.
What are you looking? Oh yeah. So we've decided actually there's quite a lot to do for a bank holiday Monday, and the sun's just come out and we want to go and find a pub lunch. So we're going to leave this phase here. John's going to shoot off. I'm going to carry on and do the bits underneath the truck on my own, and I'll see you for phase. What is it, Austin? What is it? Yeah, what is it? He says in Austin Powers.
Where's it phase? I don't know phases.
Right, to the pub. When we got back from the pub, I just actually spent half an hour with a wire brush. Just got the last little bits of mud off, a few little loose bits of underseal, and actually most of it looked pretty good. So just actually went around the underneath of the Acty, spot treated the last little bits of rust, all inside the front wheel arches. Looks really, really good. Looks like it's got some sort of underseal on there, so there wasn't much to do there. Some little patches along the sides and in the rear wheel arches, and I'm just going to let that go off. And then we're going to come back in a few days once all that's completely cured and hit it with some paint.